Eduard, thank you for taking the time in your busy schedule and sitting down with me. Much appreciated.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Eduard, I'd like to talk a little bit about the new breeding techniques and especially plant breeding. There has been a lot of debate on plant breeding innovation, and is your company, Semillas Fito, also engaged in this plant breeding innovation?
Yes, somehow, yes. Obviously, we cannot get rid of this debate. In my opinion, this is a kind of debate about risk management. Let me put an example so to understand, to make sure that you understand what I mean. Imagine that in a given country, we can debate whether driving is dangerous or not. Mm-hmm. Obviously it is, so there is a lot of accidents every year. Yeah. But also we have to put in the plates of the scale, so the risk, but also the benefits. Mm-hmm. And obviously banning driving, probably it's out of any question. Sure. And in my opinion, this is the same. So is there any risk in the new BTs, in the new breeding techniques? Probably yes. How big is this risk? In my opinion, there is no much risk, or not. It's not more risky than the, let's say, conventional techniques. So, in my opinion, I think that should be less regulated, and also try to bear in mind that if we regulate that too much, at the end of the day, it might be a barrier for smaller companies to deal with these techniques. So that will slow down innovation. So for me, this is my opinion about that.
Yeah, I know that you're now a vice president of ISF, and I believe ISF is also discussing plant breeding innovation. What are the main priorities there?
In ISF, you mean?
Yes.
Okay, so if you look at the ISF missions, you will see that ISF has two pillars or two main missions. One is the movement of seeds, and the other one is to enhance or to make sure that the breeding is there. So obviously, when it comes to breeding, MBTs and also the use of patents, those are the priorities, and the technology, and to make sure that we are so the seed industry is able to keep innovating, and also make sure that this technology is accessible. On the other hand, I would say also that training for me is also very important. I think that there are a lot of topics that are related to the trading, and also we need to maybe to prioritize those and make sure that it's also in our agendas. And here that I would say that I will outline maybe also the infringement or the illegal activities that are obviously related also with the IP, but those illegal activities occur when you are trading. So here probably I would put those topics under the umbrella of trading. So illegal activities and the new breeding techniques and patents for me are the priorities of ISF, along with something else that is communication, because it's important to understand that. So we are regulated, and as somebody says that if we don't do anything, we might end up regulated to death. So we have to make sure that politicians / society understands what we are doing and the contribution. So communication is crucial.
Yeah. Clearly, I understand. In the past year, we've been reading and hearing a lot about several mergers and acquisitions in the seed sector. 3 of those massive, huge mergers and acquisition. What is your take on the potential impact of those 3 deals?
I would say that there might be 3 areas where we can find impacts, as you name them. One is the breeding, but the more mature a market is, the more segments we find in these markets. And when you have smaller segments, the size of a company is less important. So I wouldn't foresee much impact in that aspect. The other one is the biotechnology. Here also is related to what we had debated about before.
Yeah.
So the question is that if we have to make sure that it's regulated well enough to allow companies or smaller companies also to step into the biotechnology and make sure that they are also able to use those techniques. If this is the case, I wouldn't see much problem with those mega mergers or mega acquisitions. And the third maybe is what I call the services. So we start to see that in the seed industry, seed companies are also providing services, technologies related to the here you can include precision farming or other kind of technologies. Sure. Here, maybe it's too early to make an assessment, but we might see that the size can also help those companies. So this is so here you see the three areas where we can see impacts, sure. And maybe for in my opinion the last one is that the one that is drawing my attention now. But also we will see benefits, other side effects. I wouldn't say benefits, but other side effects when you have these consolidations. Also, so you can, for other companies, you can find talent, so people and market opportunities. So this is the way I see it.
Okay, great. Eduard, we are here at the ESA annual meeting in Riga, all the way in Latvia, quite a long way from Spain, I would say.
It is, yeah.
Why is it so important for you to come in person to such meetings?
That's a good question, because most of so now we are in a super connected society. So we can keep in contact through internet, obviously telephone or emails or things like this. But I think that once a while to have face-to-face meeting, it's important because there are some topics or some details that are not able to be addressed correctly through those systems, let's say. And obviously, when you have we all meet, there are other opportunities that we can find. So that's why I think it's important to attend those meetings, to see each other face to face, and try to find those opportunities.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. Well said. Thank you for the interview.
You're very welcome. Okay. Thank you very much.